I'm just glad that Leonardo da Vinci wasn't located in Hollywood, because they may have confiscated his art supplies.
Welcome to the Shellcast, a show about music, culture, and Memphis.
As we live into our mission of building community through music,
education,
and diversity,
we look forward to interviewing artists and musicians and hearing about how they are writing their own stories,
building their own communities.
85 years strong, and with a rich history, the Levitt Shell has stood the test of time as a beacon of hope in the heart of Memphis. I can actually do that one more time.
This podcast is brought to you by Orion Federal Credit Union, where a big part of us is being a big part of the community. Visit orionfcu.com to see how Orion is redefining banking. Hi, and welcome to episode 18 of Shellcast. Today we're speaking with Rev Neil Down. He spent a long time as half of the beloved duo Deering and Down in Memphis, now works mainly as a solo artist. Besides being a fantastic songwriter and musician, he's a wanderer and a traveler and a collector of some great stories, some of which he shares with us today. Kick back, this one's a lot of fun. Let's listen to Rev Neil Down on Shellcast. Rev, there you are. How are you, sir?
I'm doing good, man. I'm on the right side of the dirt.
That's always a good start.
and trying to stay on the left side of the road and out of the ditch, you know?
Well, with all the weirdness that's going on and all the time that we have to fill, what are you filling your time with these days, sir?
Well, I've been working on some art projects, and I'm just, it's funny. It's like you see, if people don't think Einstein's doing anything if they don't see him with the shovel, but a lot's going on as he sits in his rocking chair. You know what I mean? But by any means trying to compare myself. But I'm just doing lots of thinking and working on different projects. I have a few collaborations that are like in the works.
Nice.
Yeah, and I'm excited about that. Some long distance projects. So. Yeah, I will keep you posted on those.
Oh, please do. Please do.
Yeah.
You have a lot of advantage, something that I'm really, really jealous about. Besides your music, you do painting. Have you been working on that at all?
Man, I regret to say that I haven't been doing as much as I like. But, well, look, I mean, come on, you're an incredible photographer. And
you're too kind.
My stuff is pretty sophomoric, my painting, but still.
I like what you do. I know with the photography, from my point of view, I'm having a hard time getting myself into the mindset. I've tried a couple of sessions and everything, and I can't honestly say I've been pleased with Are you having any trouble creating these days?
I really feel fortunate that I haven't. I don't want to jinx myself. But I've been, sometimes it's tough to figure out what the heck it is I'm saying. And, but you know what I've noticed lately with this, all this other wonky, melancholy stuff going on in the world, sometimes it can be slightly challenging to try to remain on a positive frequency. But, I know that you're very good at that. Remaining positive. And so we want to just kind of try and stay in the light. But I feel very fortunate that I continue. The faucet's on and it's got pressure,
Right. You have a command over a great many different musical styles. On your albums, I've heard you do everything from country to alt rock to avant-garde to this, that, and the other. How does your creative process evolve? How does it go from an idea that pops into your head to what I get to hear on the CD?
You know what? I tell you what, I've never sat down. I know a lot of guys will sit down and go, let's write some songs. It's like, but I kind of let the cosmos guide me and try to keep the patina off the dish, if you know what I mean. And of course
Sure.
you do. And be ready with that catcher's mitt in my head when I'm like fortunate enough to have something come my way. You know what? I like what Ray Charles said when they asked him what kind of music he liked. He said profoundly, "I like good music."
Good for him.
Yeah, it's like I really don't think that should be any separations. It's tough when people say, "Well, we don't know what genre to fall you under." It's like
That just makes the music better as far as I'm concerned, because if you get pigeonholed into one thing or another, it seems like it would limit you as an artist.
yeah, it's kind of like all of a sudden it kind of puts some kind of government type of regimental entity into your creativity. Like, is there a box that we should check that says Caucasian or other or what?
Right. It's particularly effective. I'm holding a copy of your last album, Every Block Needs an Alley, in my hand right now, and I'm just remembering how wonderful I felt with the various moods on the album. You did everything on this record, from a cry in your beer country song to Last Time I Left Oklahoma to Meet Me. You're all over the place, and yet it's still very cohesive.
Man, thank you for saying that. And, I so appreciate, you're always inspirational, man. You're one of these people that magnetizes, You know how sometimes you can shake a hand and you can feel them sucking the power out of you. Yeah.
Yeah, we've all been there.
Yeah. Anyway, we won't give them any more real estate in our heads, will we?
No sense whatsoever. So songwriting and music is pretty much a constant process for you. Then you don't really block off any time where it's like, I'm going to make a record. It's just when it hits, it hits. That's wonderful.
Yeah, it's like sometimes somebody will kind of go, "Hey, are you listening to me?" It's like, "Oh, I'm sorry. I was like in the middle of a couple notes." You know what I mean?
Right.
You know how that is. It's like Willie Nelson has that great line, "Still is still moving to me," and I love that.
Right.
I know you know what I'm talking about.
Absolutely. Tell me some of the things that you're working on now. You said you got some collaborations coming. Now, what are the rumors I'm hearing about Ed McVed's Vacation?
Oh, yes, Ed McMed's Vacation. Well, it was a number of years back, a decade actually, that a friend and I, Big House Hansen up in Alaska, he had a studio, and we did this song right off the cuff, basically. And I asked him, I said, "Whatever happened to that? You still have a copy of that?" Man, I'm just kind of curious about how far out we were there. And anyway, he sent me that file, and I mean, it aged kind of nicely. So I sent it to a friend of mine, Amy, up in Louisville, Kentucky. She's from Memphis, but man, she really dug it. She really loved it, and she forwarded it to a DJ friend of hers up in Chicago.
Really?
And he said, "I want to play this on my show." And I said, "Wow." I said, "Well, that's great." So he put it on his playlist, and it was in between David Lynch and James Brown. So I thought, man, that's good company.
Someday when I write a review of one of your CDs, I'm going to say he falls somewhere between David Lynch and James Brown. That's perfect.
God, I love that. That'd be wonderful, man. I haven't seen any lightning hit me yet, so that's good.
Yeah. Then it's obviously legal to say that. So.
Yeah, the truth doesn't always hurt, does it?
No, in fact, if you look at it the right way, the truth rarely hurts.
Yeah.
Maybe that's not true either. Rev, you mentioned Alaska brings a question to mind. So in your career, you have recorded all over the world, literally. You've recorded in Alaska, you've recorded in Memphis, you've recorded in Ireland. What is it about Memphis that is so fascinating to you that you've honored us with being home here?
Well, Memphis is kind of like a rich man's slipper with a little pebble in it. There's just so much, magic and incredible music that's come out of this town. And you know what? Sometimes I don't know how they do it, but there's some folks that almost get a little jaded about it, and then there's some people that just are always promoting the old stuff, which really doesn't need any promotion because it promotes itself. It's, but sometimes I think the garden of the future is neglected a little bit. You know what I mean?
I agree.
Yeah, and as clever and as Nashville is, and all the great music that's come out of Nashville. But it's funny when I go to coffee shops in Nashville and I go to a thrift shop, Memphis music is everywhere all the time, it seems like. So that's kind of interesting too, because I think there's just such an authenticity, and it's not always perfect, and that makes it perfect. It's like those, are they the Navajo blankets that have a little spot so the spirits can come and go?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
I do indeed. I do indeed. I know one of the things that really impressed me about the Memphis music scene when I moved here from Orlando, Florida, going to festivals and stuff where there were lots of local artists represented, there didn't seem to be a separation between jazz and funk and soul and rock and folk and country and what have you. Everybody just worked together. And if somebody had an idea, it was accepted. That really impressed me, and it really helped make me fall in love with this city.
Yeah, it's the thing is jock sports are great, but jock sports are not art. So I don't think that any art should be looked at as a competitive sport, or because that isn't very nurturing. And but that's just some of my blue collar advice.
I don't think that puts you in the minority in Memphis, though. I really think one of the things that binds our music community together is the fact that people are so willing to share, and it's not competitive here, at least not to my eyes.
Well, that's good. That's good to know. I'm gonna venture outside again.
We wait for you too.
As far as the Irish collaboration, I was very fortunate to meet the great Henry McCullough, the only Irishman to play Woodstock back in 1983 in Tulsa, Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm.
And he'd invited me to Ireland, and I said, "Come see me, and we'll do some recording, and you don't need any money. I'll take care of you." And I thought, well, that sounds good.
There's always more invitations like that in life, huh?
Yeah, I try not to take it too literally, but
if it's there,
I did go visit him in '85, but it wasn't until 2003 that we finally expedited that long time vision and dream, and which was like, when you're having that fantastic dinner and you get to swallow some of it, and because so I guess it's a good thing to not keep your talons in your dream, you know what I mean? Don't let it float away on you if you can.
Want to learn more about how you can support the Levitt Shell and its mission of building community through music, education, and diversity? Head to levittshell.org. You can read up on our 85-year history and check out our schedule of live and virtual events. Visit our shell shop to grab all the swag and find out ways you can participate in our mission, whether that's through donations, volunteering, sponsoring a show, or becoming a member of our Shell Circle. Once again, that's levittshell.org.
With all the things that you've already accomplished in your recording career, what do you still want to accomplish? What dreams do you have right now?
I just want to keep, silver. I've got a whack of new material, and there's some that older things that I've written. But to quote the Mitchell family, Boo and Willie, good songs really don't have any expiration date. And hopefully there's a few good songs there somewhere, because I've been going over some of this stuff, and I go, you know what? I'm going to shake some of those up in the bingo machine and lay some of those down too, and
nice.
I really feel like having the luxury of wanting to continue with your art projects and, being creative is kind of like a fountain of youth to me. And it's just like, I just think that sometimes the entertainment industry can be a shallow pool. And I just think it's lucky that as far as being discriminate about age and things, and I'm just glad that Leonardo da Vinci wasn't located in Hollywood, because they may have confiscated his art supplies, because you're 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 too old to be doing this incredible stuff. No.
Right.
Anyway, I think we just got to keep doing what we do, and it's empowering, is it not?
It is, and one of the things that I was thinking about just recently, it's interesting that you mentioned Woodstock before, because I was just thinking about, the whole Woodstock Nation and everything like that. Sometimes it feels to me like, and I'm gonna bunch us together here, our generation might have been the first one to revere their heroes for a longer period of time. It's Eric Clapton is still welcome to go out on tour anytime he wants to. Robert Plant, the Rolling Stones, all these people, still very welcome, still very deified, even by generations that came after us. So I wonder if we were able to maybe change some of that perception, at least in music.
I mean, that's a great thing, But the thing is, too, is it's incredible. But a lot of people that those guys are like so iconic, and part of iconic collaborations. It's really tough to get to that spot when you haven't been in the eye of the mainstream for that long, It's kind of like the new kid in town has been around about a million years. Like the Sugar Man is a great example.
Right.
I'm sure you saw that documentary.
I did. It was a little while ago, but it was a great documentary.
Yeah, there's this guy, a laborer on a construction site. I think one day he tells the foreman that he's got to give notice or need some time off because he's going to go on tour. And I go, "What, did you hit your head?" You know what I mean? It's like, all sorts of incredible things can happen, pleasant things, and we're sometimes we're just walking around under a pinata and we don't even know yet,
Exactly.
But I think that I still continue to believe that we're going to get through what we're going through right now.
Do you see music as being a large part of the healing process that we're going to have to go through?
I do. I hope so. I did a little record deal. I think I told you with Mad Jack Records, and
right.
And Ronnie Russell sent me a readout sheet of downloads and streams, and I was really pleasantly surprised to see that without any CD release party or any real promotion behind it through the distributor, there was and probably because under the umbrella of that Magic name, maybe, I don't know, but there was streams and downloads from all over the world. Just a number of pages of them, and so I'm thinking that, wow, our CD release party was going to be in March, and that never happened, obviously, because of the WYXR rules and regulations. But you think, wow, some guy in some country in Africa that I barely heard of, or the Arab Emirates or Russia, is listening to something off Every Block Needs an Alley, and it's bringing them some bliss, hopefully, in these somewhat wonky, melancholy days. Well, that just kind of warms the cockles in my heart.
I would imagine so. It's got to be a great inspiration for you to keep going, too.
Absolutely.
You are among the people that we're going to be looking to bring us back together. Does that feel like too much responsibility, or is it exciting? Is it?
I would love to hold the light bulb while they turn the ladder. I think it's this would be wonderful.
Once we get past the main craziness and everything, how do you foresee kind of kickstarting and getting back some of that momentum? Are you going to do an album release party for Every Block Needs an Alley once we can?
That's been the threat, is that once all this goes away, we can have a little christening of that the Every Block Needs an Alley ship.
That'd be one.
Or skiff. And yeah, that'd be wonderful. Hey, and if anybody is curious about the Kinky Sonic offering, Ed McMed's Vacation, they can listen to it for free on YouTube. It's up there. Just punch in Ed McMed's Vacation, Rev Neil Down, and for those that folks that it doesn't always have to be perfect. There you are.
I can share that I've listened to that at your recommendation, and I got an awful lot of joy out of it.
Awesome. So that Ed McMahon, you had to get away from him before you spilt your drink, right? Yeah.
I don't know. I spill my drink on a regular basis anyways. So.
Yeah. So anyway, I'm hoping to collaborate again with some of the cronies that participated on Every Block Needs an Alley. And I know that the mighty James Cunningham is, everybody's is looking forward to doing something as well. Everybody's been kind of keeping their head down a little bit. And I can't imagine how really terrible things would be if there weren't a few people that were being careful.
Right. For those that might be new, Rev Neil Down and Lana Deering had a duo for a long time known as Deering and Down. A lot of success, a lot of notoriety in Memphis. Any memories of that you have? Anything that comes to mind when I bring that up?
Yes, most of those memories are cherished. I just talked to Lana yesterday. She was
oh, wonderful.
Yeah, she was asking about, I guess somebody wanted an MP3 of the song, I Wonder What Elvis or Rufus Might Say. And has that ever made your playlist at all?
I've probably heard it once or twice in my life, but that's just about it. I've given at least one listen to every single one of the albums and many listens to a couple of them.
Wonderful. Well, that's one that was a single, but it was recorded at the same time as Out There Somewhere. And it just, I've never written a Christmas song in my life. And there's another thing where be ready with your catcher's mitt if something should decide to come your way. And anyway, it was a great time at Royal Studio. The great Willie Mitchell was working with his son, Boo.
Uh-huh.
And anyway, it's like, and stuff like that. It's hard sometimes not to conjure up a little mist in the tear ducts. You get sentimental. But anyway, Deering Down, man, that's Lana, work with Lana, she's has a beautiful voice. And, she was keen to participate in so many things. She was, I'm not ruling out that there might not be some collaborative endeavor at some point in the future. That's for sure.
And I'm sure you bring that up because you knew I was going to ask, is there a chance that you guys might record together again?
I certainly wouldn't rule that out.
I think that sounds hopeful and mysterious. I like it a lot.
Yeah, good. You said hopeful and mysterious.
Hopeful and mysterious. And
I love that. Yes, okay. Keep on Smith and wordsmith. I love it. Yeah.
Well, one of these days, you and I are going to sit down together and write something ridiculous.
We are. We're just going to sit on a park bench with our paper sack, and we're not sure what's going to be in the paper sack. Probably our lunch, some Twinkies or something.
Yeah, and really bad wine. Got to be really bad.
No. And we could probably just sit there and kind of, while we're feeding the ducks or the pigeons, just have our catcher mitts ready to catch it for us.
You know what's going to happen in that case? We're going to go to that park. We're going to feel like we're going to feed the pigeons and ducks and find out that they're feeding us.
Dig it, man. Oh, you know what? There's some magic in all those feathers, isn't there?
I'm going to withhold comment on that.
Okay. I'll tell you something. I do have a little something I've been meaning to send you that I started that maybe you might be keen for. Maybe you'll get the rest of the message if you.
I'd love to give it a go.
Yeah, I think I'm going to have to just go ahead and belly up and toss it your way.
I think that sounds wonderful, and I think that'll give us a great excuse to get together again because it's been way too long, friend.
Do we only have a couple hours left for our conversation?
Actually, I have a couple minutes left. I, believe it or not, have another one of these to do.
I'm just joking. Hey, buddy, I love you, man.
Love you too. I miss you terribly. I can't wait until all this is over so I can hear you play again, man. I miss seeing you up on a stage. You belong on a stage, Rev.
Well, right back at you, man. You know what? We'll have to get some of our old drag queen outfits out of the trunk and do our little vaudeville.
Okay, but you still owe me a feather boa, okay?
You got it, man. You got it. Even if I have to hit up a couple pigeons to lend me some feathers.
Will it go round in circles?
Yeah, and you know what? Let me say to everybody, don't get any on you. Be safe, and you know what? Just stay in the light. Let's manifest and will everything to be all right and better.
And I think it will. Rev, thank you so much for your time, my friend.
Thank you. I hope you don't have any trouble picking the straw out of your ear now.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sing and dance. I'm gonna put on some of your music and just remember you fondly, as I always do.
I love you, man. Thank you for that. Turn it up.
I'll do it.
All right. God bless you, brother. Thank you.
Be well. Bye-bye. That man is so much fun to talk to, Rev. Thanks for taking time with us today. Promise you, if you ever see him in a bar or buy him a drink, you'll get plenty of great stories. If you want to keep up on what he's doing, go to Facebook and follow Neil Down. Thanks for joining us today on Shellcast. We'll see you again soon. Please be well.